Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live, which started just in time. I am your host, Justin D. Morgan. I'll make up my own hashtags to explain my tardiness. And let's see who we have in the chat who was before me. We have Thomas Armstrong. We have Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. We have Francois. We have Frank S. We have Gutbomb. We have K-Mac Vintage. We have Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack. We have Sadmac. We have Scarlet the Four-Eyed Cuda. And we have Jesse, I8386SX. Welcome, everybody. Yes, December is in full swing. And though it's coming to a close just as quickly as it began. Funny thing how years and months and seasons happen. So yes, not to give too much away, but I did spoil this computer that is on my bench on Retro Repair Roundup. And let's see here, announcements. Yeah, I got a coffee go, links in the description. Okay, we're past the announcements. All right. Oh yes, and let's go to eBay regret summary. All right, so last stream, I had 4 items that I'd received from eBay. Since then, I had received 2 more. Because I buy too much stuff on eBay, the place where I buy stuff I later regret. The first item that I received yesterday was a Zip 100 drive that has the Apple logo on it. It arrived with a loose part and is very much a zip disk destroyer. Luckily, the sellers refunded me, but yep, alright, first regret of the week. Because, well, I don't trust that zip disk now that it made loud grindy noises after I extracted the loose metal part and the seller convinced me to test it just to make sure that wasn't like a metal part from something else. Yeah, after it ground something, probably the zip disk, I looked inside of it, and one of the heads looks crooked, so I'm pretty sure it's toast. Anyways, it's going in the e-waste with a big red warning sticker on it that says, use at your zip disk's peril. The other item I received, I will have to hook up a Commodore 64 to test because it was a 1541 floppy drive. However, it arrived in just the same condition as it was pictured, probably as a result of I found a seller down in Bedford, Virginia, and it only took a day to get here because actually, I think the seller dropped it off in Roanoke, so it went to the Roanoke sorting center for UPS, then on up to Charlottesville, and then whoop, up to my house. Like, yeah, not enough time for UPS to do anything to it. It was packaged great, so yes, I would like to give a shout out to the Commonwealth Picker for doing such an excellent job on that. It was in untested conditions, so it's going to wait till probably January for a test. Anyways, if it's not working, I can fix it, and that's exactly why I bought it. Actually, Jeremy says, don't e-waste that drive. It's a vintage paperweight. No, I'm going to e-waste it because I don't want to get it mixed up with other zip drives. If it's destroying disks, it's going. Also, zip drives aren't really that heavy, Jeremy. It might be a vintage single piece of paperweight. They aren't really that heavy. Let's see. As for the other items, the one other thing. After my stream Tuesday, I did put the Optiplex 3020 motherboard and 2 of the 3 sticks of RAM in for a test, and they actually worked. Shocker, I know. Actually, Martin Mac actually then commented that that's actually how they ship things in the UK all the time, so maybe I shouldn't have been as shocked. But then again, I've always thought Royal Mail was a bit more gentle on packages than the USPS, but maybe that's completely off too. So if you're in the UK, let me know how your experiences are with the Royal Mail. Yeah, Sad Max agreeing with me. Yeah, if it's eating discs, it's not really worth keeping around where it can get mixed up with working drives. Yeah, I don't want the label to fall off and get mixed up with working drives. Yeah, Jeremy says he was joking. I know you were joking, Jeremy. Yeah. And Francois says it's a Dalek, a zip Dalek. A good one. Yeah, exterminate, exterminate. Yeah, it exterminated that zip disk, and I didn't fall for the trick of putting a second one in. Because actually, truth be told, I've actually ruined 2 zip disks in the past week. The first one was in the zip drive for the Beige G3 that's... for anyone that's wondering, that is just the case because it's in the dunce corner because the case is in pretty bad shape. But I should have put the zip drive in the dunce corner because the zip drive that was in that is actually what I was trying to order a replacement zip drive for. I inserted the disc and it won't, well, it didn't spin up. It didn't read the disc. It didn't like move the heads and it wouldn't eject. Oh no, it did spin up. But I don't think it spun up, but it was like you couldn't eject the disc was like quite literally stuck. I had to like emergency eject it. So the G3 zip drive is like, I think that G3 was stored in an like somewhere near salt water, quite honestly. And I suspect that's what happened to its original zip drive. In fact, I'm afraid the CD-ROM drive that was originally in it is probably similarly toast, and the floppy drive as well, but I already have a replacement floppy drive for it. But oh, hey, Retro Techie, welcome. Nope, my middle name's not Dilbert. Keep guessing. Yeah. Oh, the zip drive that was in the Beige G3, I am holding on to it because I haven't bothered to unscrew the bracket off the bottom of it, but I did write in Sharpie on the label, "Do not use ever!" exclamation mark. But yeah, there is no zip drive. K-Mac Vintage says there is no zip drive collector like Mac 84 with his printers. Well, given my experience of zip drives, they either work or they don't. Actually, that's probably a completely obvious statement. But I have been, like, had really bad luck buying zip drives off eBay. If I had to actually rank my top 10 regrets, zip drives is probably solidly in the top 5. In fact, even one of the working zip drives I have arrived with the window, like, punched in and loose inside the drive, and I had to take it apart to get the window out, and I broke, like, most of the clips holding it together doing so. So it's like, it doesn't eject that well. I mean, the drive works because the zip mechanism's great, but because clips are broken in it, the eject mechanism doesn't have enough force to really eject it. Yeah, I could use some zip drives, Jesse. That's definitely something. I was kind of especially hoping to get a Zip 100 drive with the Apple logo on it so I could at least give the Beige G3 something original back, but a regular zip drive would also work. It had a beige faceplate one. But yeah, so I have a parallel port zip drive that I actually don't think I've ever tested because setting up a computer to test that, I haven't bothered to. So that quite possibly will be a regret. I have the SCSI zip drive, Zip 100, that I broke like most of the clips getting the window out of it, so it doesn't eject that well, so I don't like using it. Because actually sometimes the disc does get stuck ejecting, and I totally own that one because I didn't realize how brittle the zip drive plastic was. Although, in reality, I think iOmega needs to share some of that blame for using such awful plastic. And quite honestly, I think Spindler needs to share some of that plastic because I'm sure he had consulted with iOmega on that. It has to be. Might be blue plastic, but it's blue Spindler plastic, if you ask me. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, thanks, Dave. Dave likes my Christmas decorations. So, yeah, and then I got a Zip 250 drive I bought at L&Y, and actually I haven't tested it either. It's a scuzzy one. Oh, I do have a Zip 100 in my Pentium 3, which is actually to my right, and you can't see it because... Oh, actually, you can just see it. It's... Yeah, it's right there. It's that beige thing right there. Or, no. Oh, YouTubers can't point. What is that? Well, actually, I think you can just see it depending on how I move, but that zip drive's, well, I guess I could put it in my G3 if I really needed to, but at the moment, I've got that computer set up, so if someone needs to recover more data off zip drives, I can loan it to them. So I'd really like to leave that zip drive in that computer. So, oh, no, it's a Pentium 2. Excuse me. I had a Pentium 3 in that computer briefly, but I think I did put it back to be a Pentium 2. It, for because the motherboard was really a Pentium 2 era motherboard that will go up to 500 megahertz. So I have put a Pentium 3 500 in it, but it's really my Pentium 2 system. So, oh yeah, 2 sealed packs of new old stock zip hundreds from auction, $12 total. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I've got plenty of zip disks. It's just zip drives. Of course, if we get done soon enough, I have the driver that I could attempt to run a zip drive on this. So, what is this? All right, well, this could be an eBay regret because I did buy this Tandy 1400 LT from eBay. No, this is not the 1400 LT that you saw during Septandy. That one is now at the museum, aka Joe's Computer Museum, because that computer had sentimental value to his family. He and I came to a price, and I sold it to him, and then I promptly used that money to buy a couple more Tandy 1400s in worse shape, unfortunately. But that's because I really wanted maybe something to do. No, it's actually because I just bought them totally cheap. So, yeah, Jeremy, I suspect we'll connect at some point and be able to swap stuff. Because I actually have a couple... I have a box or two of stuff for you, Jeremy. So, yeah, we'll definitely swap computers. I will try to remember to make a note of everything that I'll potentially need to swap at VCF East, assuming I make it there. That is a strong desire to go, but not a foregone conclusion at this point. I will just have to let everyone know. I will hopefully set my coffee goal back to VCF East soon, but yeah, I will start making a list, so I'll try to remember to put that Pentium 3 1 gigahertz on that list. Also, I think I do have some stuff for a few other people that may or may not realize I have it for them, but anyways, yes. So if it would be good though, I'll just kind of say it now. If there is something you were planning on bringing me at VCF East, it would probably be a good idea to let me know so I make sure that I don't because I would like to exhibit. I don't want to make my exhibit so big that it makes it really difficult to bring stuff back. So, Jeremy, that is not my only problem of going to VCF East. So, yes. Anyways, let's get to this Tandy 1400 LT because this is only one of 3, although the other 2 aren't LTs. There is a reason why I did the thumbnail the way I did. Now, So this one here, and actually, because some people are curious as to what people actually pay for things on eBay, and you can let me know whether I did good or bad. I don't mind if you know what I paid for it. Because actually, the thing is, I think I've bought it recently enough that you could actually find the auction for it, so I might as well just admit to it. So, this one here, let me just go ahead and pull up the auction so I can read the details. So, this was an auction format purchase. It was listed a 1987 Tandy 1400 LT model 25-3500 parts or repair from an eBay seller in Portland, Oregon. I won it for the initial bid of $50, plus an arm and a leg and a kidney and a spleen for shipping because it was coming from the West Coast. It was packaged fairly well, as you might have seen if you watched Retro Repair Roundup, and I actually unboxed it there. It does have some damage, but I think all the damage is actually shown in the auction pictures. So I don't know what this tab here is, but oh, that's for the cover on the back. Okay, well, the cover on the back was missing, but that's shown in the pictures. The battery door is present, at least. It does not have the modem, which is actually kind of nice. That gives me 2 blank plates. And I want to say there was... Oh, the feet might be missing, but that's probably the case on all of them. Handles there. Okay, this one didn't have any... I think that was basically the bulk of the damage, was that cover's missing. The screen on this one is... It looks fairly decent. It looks like... Oh, I think those... Well, actually, there might be something going on with the screen, because I see 2 black lines in my camera. Although, is that something reflecting off the screen? Okay, I can't see it in person, but there's definitely something reflecting on my... Like my camera is seeing something through the polarizer, maybe. So that might be concerning. Anyways, so I paid $50 for it plus shipping. I think it probably was a decent deal. And Francois says, we know if you've been good or bad. Yeah, because you could look up the eBay purchases. So anyways, I bought this back in... Oh yeah, I bought it back in... it was like, I actually did not really want to buy it at the time. Not because I didn't want to try to get a 1400 that had the battery door for $50, but because I was about to leave to go to the beach, and man, it was probably going to be delivered while I was out of town. So, oh, hey, Eric, welcome. Anyways, so this did not come with the power adapter. It did come with a battery that may or may not be dead. We may check that out later. But anyways, I have scavenged the power cable from a power adapter. The power adapter did not come from eBay, but it is potentially the case that I may regret this. I believe, based on my research, this computer is center negative. That is not clearly marked on the machine. I do know, though, it is 15 volts, because 15 volts is marked on the bottom of the machine, but the polarity is not. In fact, I know that it is rated for 15 volts DC, 700 milliamps. So actually, I know what to set my benchtop supply to. Also, I guess if anyone's wondering, it's serial number UA050450. Kind of a cool serial number. If you play those numbers in the pick 6 and it wins straight or boxed, I get a cut. And I don't know that any lottery system has a pick six. I could be surprised. Maybe there is somewhere that has a pick six, but all right. So I'm going to use my bench supply to try to power this up. I have not tried to power it up. I don't know what it's going to do. It could go beep, it could go bang, it could go pop, it could go smell, it could go. I mean, it could rickroll me for all I know. I mean, this might have a rickroll module in it. I mean, it could have a bad news Barta board in it too, for all I know. I mean, I don't know that there's one for Tandy, but yeah, Tandy liked center negative power supplies. That's definitely true. Probably because that was one way to get you to buy a power supply from them and not someone else. Anyway, so I'm going to use this scavenged power connector. It's not the best, but it should handle an amp of current. I think ideally I would have found one that the plug side is slightly longer, but, well, beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, I kind of hope there's no magic smoke or no whammies because I don't feel like smelling it. Although, if there is magic smoke, I hope at least one thing is true, and that is that I get it on camera. I at least owe you all that, even if I will completely regret it, because my basement will smell like Reefa for the next week or two. Although, then again, I might, depending on what the weather is like next week, if it gets warm enough of the evenings, I may actually attempt to paint a wall or two in the basement so I can put some shelves up without having to move them after I put stuff on them, because I would like to move some stuff that's currently upstairs to downstairs. And I'm pretty sure once I do that, it will probably be like a air freshener for Reefas. Although, it will only be warm enough during the day for me to do it. Oh, it would probably help for me to turn on the... Alright, so the striped wire... Okay, the striped wire is the center. Excellent. Would there be any info on the inside that would confirm polarity? No, I don't think so. Or at least that was not the case when I took apart my 1400 HD, which is the third of the Tandys I have and will probably not make an appearance on the bench unless I need to scavenge parts from it. I did look at that one during Septandy, and it needs the power supply recapped. Like something bad. I am willing to try to power this up though because Francois says I can check for continuity with the shielding on other connectors. Okay, I guess I can double check that. Although I'm pretty sure that where I found the information that it was center negative was a rather poorly worded phrase in the Tandy service manual, but I'm pretty sure it was telling me that it is center negative. So I'll check it though. Yeah, it is a service manual, but it didn't word it as it's center negative. It worded it as the tip is negative. But I believe that is the other way of describing center negative. But probably from the polarity of the jack in the computer not the cord end. All right, I'm also having trouble inserting this wire into my bench supply. All right, there we go. Got one in. Yeah, I'll double check it. Although I believe I read online that it does have some reverse polarity protection. Which actually, if it doesn't power up, then I am going to have to open it up because I may need to check that someone else didn't like plug in a center positive power connector. Someone like potentially the seller and trying to test it. It's like, oh, here we go. I got this laptop power adapter that's like, it looks close. I'll just full send. It's 15 volts. Poof. I can't put wires in a power supply and check continuity at the same time. Hold on, please. I'm trying to get the wire in, and this wire doesn't want to go in for some reason. Probably because I'm trying to twist the wires, and every time I insert the wires in, there's a little hole that you need to put the wire in to make sure it clamps, and every time I do it, one of the wires decides to like unstrand. All right. I need a better bench supply, but those are expensive, so I'll just keep using the one I got for free and move on. All right, I got the two wires in. All right, I'll check polarity. All right. Okay. Pretty sure that there should be continuity with here and here. Confirmed. It is center negative. All right. So, first, I need to turn on my smart outlet and then put my phone somewhere where I can turn it off really quick if I need to. All right, let's see that. That is right plug. All right, second, I need to turn on my power supply and set the voltage. Oh, first I need to flip it to volts, and then I need to set it to 15 volts. All right. And then I need to check that with a multimeter, or multimeter, as some people say. Oh, but it would help to go to voltage mode and not be simply off. And there we are, DC. And it is, 15 volts on the dot. All right. That's good. Okay. Now I'm going to make sure it is in low amps mode. And now the way you configure the amps on this machine, this power supply, and this is the part I don't like, and I wish I had one that would like let you digitally set it. You short the power, which I'm going to do with a pair of needle nose pliers, and then I can dial in an amount of power. All right. And I set it to 700 milliamps. That is the rated current supply of this computer, because I really don't know what it will do if I try to power it up with less than that. All right. I will open the screen so that if anything happens, you will see it. I will zoom out on the camera angle so that if anything happens, you will see it. I will put my safety glasses on. Well, I guess I'll have to move it. Okay, well, let me... All right, I guess if it does anything, you'll see it. If it doesn't do something, you'll see it. All right, so I'm going to turn on the power supply. And the laptop is off. Okay. My power supply shows a current draw of 0.007 amps. So I guess that's 7 milliamps. All right. 3, 2, 1. Wah, 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 wah. Well, we're drawing 25 milliamps, but it does appear as if absolutely nothing is happening. All right. Oh, maybe, just maybe. All right, there are two switches that you have to. Okay, so I have it set to internal. And I think, oh, maybe the back switch is in the wrong position. Let me set the monitor switch on the back to off. And let me try it again. Yeah, at least no smoke. I'm at 26 milliamps. But I believe it be dead. Yeah, Trina would be disappointed. I am somewhat relieved, but Trina would be disappointed. Alright. So it looks like we're probably going to have to take this at least partially apart for triage. However, maybe we should take a look at the other one first. It is possible I'm going to have to replace a fuse, and I don't know what the part is, and I don't think I have any fuses. I may also pull up the service manual at some point. All right, let me go get the other 1400 I haven't done anything with. Because it's in a bit worse shape than that one and might be easier to disassemble in some way. All right. So this one's in like just a little bit worse shape. It's in a little bit more worse of a shape now because another piece has fallen off of it. Yeah, this one obviously is. This one's in bad shape. All right, so let's see here. This one I probably might have overpaid for. So this one I bought back in early October. It was listed as a. Hold on, I'm trying to see how much I paid for it. It was listed as a buy it now auction. The asking price was $69.95 with best offer, plus $9.95 shipping, and it was only coming from Massachusetts. I made an offer for $60, which they accepted. The computer was Already starting to break apart in the auction photos. However, I think it did sustain some more damage in shipping or something. Because the only crack I saw in the auction photo was the plastic was cracked here, but it wasn't broken off, but it kind of, well, shipping did a number on it. So, yeah, this one's in pretty rough shape. Also, it's got loose parts inside, so I'm not going to just power it up. And the screen is definitely bad. Not bad enough that I won't try to power it up, but I'm definitely not using this screen. Now, this is the Tandy 1400 FD, which I believe might be a later model, but it has 2 floppy drives, or maybe the LT's the later model. So it has 2 floppy drives instead of the 1400 HD, which has 1 floppy drive and 1 hard drive. But yeah, this definitely has something loose in it. So this one actually has the modem, plus the cover for this. It did not have the battery. It did not have the battery door. Some of these broken plastic pieces I do have setting to the side, but I need to open this up before I do anything else with it because I don't know what's loose in it. It could be plastic. It could be metal. It could be gold bullion. Probably not. Let's see. Francois says, well, ABS should glue quite well with UHU plast or some other acetone-based stuff. Well, that's assuming I have enough of the pieces to bother. Because while I do have a number of the pieces that are setting to the side, I don't know if I have all of them. I honestly probably should have. I probably should have taken objection to the seller's packaging. Yeah, gold or silver. I mean, copper could be valuable too. Actually, I have heard of UHU. It's I think I've seen it in some stores. I forget who actually makes it, but all right. If there doesn't look like there's any like loose metal pieces, I suspect it's all loose plastic. Oh, it's German. Okay. Okay, maybe I've not seen it in stores, but I had heard of it at least. Might be because I've seen their glue sticks. All right. So I think I got all the screws loose. Although, granted, there's so much broken plastic, I'm really not sure how important it's going to be to try to get the screws out. No, I didn't get them all loose. It's also possible that some of them may not come out because there's another piece of broken plastic because the plastic that they're in might actually be broken and I might just be turning a screw that's not actually screwed into anything, or the post is sheared off or something silly like that. All right. All right, let's see if I can't remember how you... Oh, more plastic. All right, I think the top comes off like this, but there's going to be a cable holding the display on here. But at the moment, I'm just going to try to hold it to the side so I can inspect what's inside here. So here we have the, oh, this is the important part, power supply. So there's our two floppy drives, the broken plastic piece. Yeah, I think I'm about to take the floppy drive carrier off. All right, I see our NEC V20 processor. Oh. Ooh, okay, well, there's a loose screw and a standoff, and there's a piece there. Yeah, if anything, that maybe this yeah, it's not pretty, but it works. If anything, this one might be useful to get if the 1400 HD, because I think the 1400 HD and the 1400 FD might share a lot of commonality. I thought it was the LT and the FD, but the LT runs at 15 volts. The FD and HD both run at 12 volts. So I have a feeling that this power supply is going to be like the HD one, which could mean this power supply needs recapped. Of course, it's also possible that all three of them need recapped. And, well, I have caps for exactly 0 of them. I guess one good thing is if I discover it needs recapped and I go through and get the caps, I'll see if maybe Console 5 would be interested in a cap list to maybe sell a kit. Then at least maybe next time someone needs Tandy caps for a 1400, then they can just buy a pre-made kit and get their Tandy working quicker. All right. So this plate is, all right. I think in order to do this, I'm going to have to disconnect the display cable, which weirdly enough looks like it's been cut. Oh, but that's because not all the signal wires are used. Okay. I don't think it's actually damaged. It looks like it was cut at the factory. All right, so let me unplug that cable. And it looks like I've got a... Oh, and a ground wire. All right. Cool. I gotta get this display out of the way because it's... There's a spring in the display that now that it's not attached to the case, the spring wants to keep the display open. Which I guess is maybe a good thing, but it's making it harder to work on it. All right. You know, that's kind of too bad that I think this display has a working spring on it, because the display itself is definitely garbage. Although I could probably... No. All right. Let me get the keyboard out of the way, and then... Well, actually, you know, if I can get away with it, I'm going to try to maybe get the floppy drives out without removing the keyboard. Maybe the less I disconnect, the quicker I can get this thing in a testable state. This is doing them. All right, let's see here. Oh, power supply. I think there's a hidden screw somewhere holding this bracket in. Let me remove the little convenient tray that Tandy put in here to hold the battery. kind of an interesting detail. All right. Now I can see. I can get to the floppy drive ribbon cable easier. Okay. All right. Something's still holding it in. I remember from the last one I took apart, there was like a. I think there's a screw or something that's not totally obvious where it is. Oh, yeah. Right. Well, it's not there. Oh, maybe the power supply is holding it down. Okay. Ah, hey Vborg, welcome. Just trying to get this apart far enough so that I can inspect the condition of the board, because this one took a little bit of damage on shipping. All right. I was hoping to get the. There we go. Yep, that's where it was. So there are 2 more screws. Obstructed by the power supply. I'm trying to not disconnect the power supply unless I have to, because oh, grabbed it in the wrong place. More breakage. That hurt. Yeah, I should have probably objected when I saw the condition of this one. That's on me. I think I totally would have had a case for trying to, even though it was for parts. I'm pretty sure I could have made a case that it took damage on shipping. I don't remember how well the seller packed it. Although it is possible that maybe it was packed well, and I don't know. I might have just figured, well, the parts were still worth more than not having it. That's probably what I did, but yeah. Okay. There's the power supply. Now I should be able to remove the... it's still caught on something. Hold on, there's a cable or something. It feels like there's a cable connected. Oh, I see what it is. Oh, I just pushed something off the bench. I forgot. You gotta remove the modem to... let's see. Vborg says, pulled the hard drive out of the Emerson 500. Or out of his Emerson. Out of their Emerson. Out of an Emerson. I don't remember which model it was. The 500? I think it's DOA, but haven't given up hope yet. Yep. Well, that would unfortunately match the condition of my hard drive. It was DOA. I think we were held in by the modem. There we go. Oh, oh, there still was a ribbon cable. Yes. There we go. Okay, at least I got the floppy drives out. Yeah, okay, yep, okay. Sometimes I forget which computers folks have. Alright, well, that's more broken plastic. Okay, I don't see... Alright, I don't see any loose metal. There are a lot of bodges in here. I think that's hot glue. Wow, there's even bodges on the Sanyo chip. Alright, well, it looks like I could probably risk a power up. So I'm not totally convinced. Oh, that's suspicious. That is totally suspicious. How much you want to bet that if I... Actually, I'm not going to bet. It's probably a foregone conclusion, but... How much you want to bet, hypothetically, that that is the external signs of leaking capacitors? This era of PC truly was the Wild West. Anything goes as long as it works and shipped on time. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think Tandy, from what I've heard, Tandy was especially good or bad, depending on how your take of it is, of like making every use of every board they made and bodging it till it worked. It's actually on this other side. I'm not going to know if it's resin or something else until I mean, it could be. There is signs that someone spilled something sticky liquid on this, and it is very possible that that is the spilled sticky liquid. Because there is a spilled sticky liquid around some of the edges of the top plastic, and if I would scoot the keyboard so you could see it, if you see that sticky stuff on the keyboard, it is quite possible this thing took a soda spill. All right. So I think I saw on Instagram today the next flashlight I want to get, assuming it comes in pink. I'll just let my friend Jeremiah test it first, because if he doesn't manage to kill it in the first 30 days of using it at work, it's probably good enough for me too. My biggest problem is, well, I mean, pushing things off my workbench, but also losing them if they're not brightly colored and not the same, and a similar color to PCBs. So that's why I want a pink one, like hot pink. Because until someone sends me a bunch of hot pink PCBs, I'm not as likely to get it mixed up. Oh, good night. Got Bomb or Frank? Oh yeah, good night, Frank. Trying to Okay, I unfortunately do see some evidence of leaky capacitors on this power supply. Now, I guess I might try to power it up anyways. But down here, and I think the camcorder might pick it up better without. So yeah, Jeremiah, if you happen to be watching this or catching it on the replay, let me know exactly which flashlight that was you posted on your Instagram page, because I want to see if it comes in hot pink. Because at least it would stand a better chance of me being able to spot it under stuff. Um. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can super zoom, enhance. Ah, there we go. Oh, let me try turning the overhead light on brighter. Oh, there we go. That's better. Now you can see it. Hey, Adam. Oh, Gut Bomb says he's got tooth fairy duty tonight. Has to stay up till his kids go to sleep. Ah, yes. Yep, that definitely looks like capacitor guts. But I'm going to throw caution to the wind and try it anyways. It is, after all, only 12 volts DC. Everything is hot pink with the right paint can. um, there is something to be said about a nice factory paint coating to save me from having to buy yet another can of paint. All right. Oh, first, okay. I don't remember if this was center positive or center negative. Let me check it really quick because something tells me they might have. Oh, good. Oh, this is actually marked on the back. It's marked center positive, and it actually does appear to be center positive. So I need to flip my leads. Adam, this is a Tandy 1400 FD that took some damage in shipping, and that I probably should have tried to return because now that I've looked at how much plastic is cracked and how little was cracked in the auction photo, I probably should have at least said I wanted to return it to see if they might give me some money back for not packing it right. But I didn't. Alright, but this is center positive because apparently Tandy switched to center positive between the which tells me I think the 1400 LT was the first model since it is center negative, and because I suspect Tandy went to center positive because, well, the industry was going to center positive, and, well, they did have to keep up with the Commodore. Oh, and I bumped the voltage. All right, let's see here. So this is only 12 volts. All right, so let me double check. It's and I really don't expect this is going to power on. All right. 12.04 volts DC. Excellent. Okay. Now let me adjust the current limit. Since this computer took some damage, and I'm going to first try to power it up without the display to see if it beeps. I am actually going to... Actually, I'm going to leave the current limit at 700 megahertz. Okay, I have plugged it in. I am actually going to back up just a little bit for this one. Oh, I will make sure I'm recording this because this might actually go pop. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, and nothing. It is doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Wonder if that LCD would fit in a 2C flat panel monitor. I don't know. All right, I probably should check the fuse on this power supply. Because it would not surprise me if someone, if the fuse is blown. But the thing is, I have definitely seen evidence that it needs recapped, so it's quite possible that it needs recapped. Which means... Okay, I'm trying to find where the fuse is. I used to remember. I don't remember where the fuse is. Switch on the side of the... Oh! Oh, yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Okay, so the computer with the switch powered off did absolutely nothing. Yes, good catch, VBorg. I forgot, I did turn it off. All right. Trying again. All right. 3, 2, 1. And nothing. It's still not, it's not drawing any appreciable current. It is possible that maybe it needs the display plugged in. Yeah, no smoke, but no I mean there's no current being drawn. So I think that probably means the power supply is doing absolutely nothing. I mean, there are a few test points on it that I could maybe measure voltages. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but... All right, so with my multimeter touching a ground reference... Oh, well, that test point has nothing on it. And that test point has nothing on it. I probably need to check the fuse. Yeah, I think the... yeah, no bueno. Yep. You all... Am I going to have to make merch for my website of, like... Oh, that'd be cool if I could find a company to make jerseys and, like, Team Smoke and Team No Smoke. Like, yeah. All right, I'm trying to find the fuse on this. I don't remember which component it is. I thought it was marked F and a number. I'm probably going to have to go look at the service. Oh, there it is. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, here it is. So F1. It'll be really hard to get on camera. It's going to be difficult. So it's right there, or at least one of them. F1 right there on the incoming side. Guess I should probably go. Oh, wait a minute. I think the fuse is blown. I do believe the fuse is blown. Having trouble getting a good contact point with it, but yeah, I think it's open. I don't know that that helps me any, but it is open. And the power supply needs recapped, and I don't have the caps for a Tandy 1400 power supply. Unfortunately. All right, well. Okay, so this 1400 is probably not going to get reassembled. There's just so much broken plastic. I don't know that I can reassemble it. I'm probably going to use it for parts to. I will probably end up using it as parts for the 1400 HD. Because quite honestly, I think its power supply board might be in better shape. Assuming I because the 1400 HD, it definitely needs recapped. This circuit board, though, at least the top side looks like it's in better shape. Because I think the HD had multiple leaked caps. It is quite possible that whatever this brown sticky substance that's on it was spilled in the computer, and maybe that blew the fuse, and maybe that prevented someone from powering it up to test it with leaking caps. So maybe that might have actually been a good thing in hindsight. But unfortunately, I don't have caps for any Tandy power supplies. So I guess. Oh, actually, that's not good. There's a black spot on the battery power cable. Of course, that might just be the whatever got leaked on it. Oh, that may be superficial. Let me see if that comes off with a little bit of cleaner. Adam says inject 480 volts to liven it up. Oh, I think I would like to at least have one of these 1400s for Septandy when it rolls around again. That would liven it. Well, with that blown fuse, it probably wouldn't liven it up. All right. Yeah. Gutbomb says classic Pepsi of doom. Actually, that is not simply coming off of there. Oh, wow. That might. Okay, that's not coming off with Windex. All right, let me try isopropyl alcohol. That might actually be more than just Pepsi. This computer might actually be in. Oh, this might be a full eBay regret. It is quite possible this computer might have... Whatever that is, it doesn't want to come off of there, and it looks like the... Oh, well, it is coming off. It actually kind of looks like ink on the... Oh, wait, no, that's the... Wait, is that the ink of the... Oh, that looks like ink. Maybe that is just ink. Okay, I think I got fooled. I think that's a blob of ink. I probably won't ever put the battery in it, so that's fine. Alright, I can replace the... I can swap wiring harnesses with another one. Okay, so this one has a dead power supply. I'm also kind of just inspecting the board. Oh, you might actually be able to see it. This capacitor is dented. Which is really weird. And it's not like dented in the fact that I think it's like imploding. I think it's dented in that I think something has impacted it. Yeah, that's really weird. In fact, yeah, at least it's probably not a burn mark. So that is, but look at that capacitor. It's like dented. I'm hoping that's glue underneath it. Probably is. All right. I mean, at least this board looks okay, maybe. But there's definitely enough voltages here that I need the power supply to try to power it up. So, all right. Well, this one's a solid no. Jesse says maybe it's Royal Crown Cola. Okay. Well, this one is a solid no on being able to do anything else with it tonight. Unfortunately, I don't have a replacement fuse. And even if I did, I don't know why the fuse blew. I mean, unless I removed the fuse from the other power supply, but that doesn't... I mean, there's enough questions about this machine that I don't know that I want to... I don't think I want to risk the one potential fuse that I have that might be good, but no guarantee it survives desoldering. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side. I'll pull out the LT 1400 LT that I had at first, and we'll go ahead and pop its cover off and see if maybe there's some simple fix to getting it to power up. I mean, it's quite possible we're going to find that it has leaking capacitors too, or that it has a blown fuse, but well, I think I've dropped the screws somewhere. Not that it's really hugely important, because I think this is a parts machine anyways, but... Alright. Well, Gut Bomb, I don't want to put a jumper wire there, because I don't want to completely destroy any hopes of being able to use this for parts. I mean, it's possible we'll come back to it. I don't want to destroy it in the name of live stream ratings. It's one thing if I'm actually like legitimately trying and something goes wrong, but it's another to just stick a paper clip in it. I know you weren't being serious. All right. All right. Let me. I guess. Well, I guess. No. Let me move the all the parts for this to the side because I'm going to need to the room. All right. Also, if any of these, if I get one of these Tandies to work, I do have an XTIDE for it, so there's that. Now I have a vested interest to get one working so I can actually use this because it's a proprietary connector. All right. Okay. I'm going to, before I forget, I am going to go ahead and swap my multimeter back over to center negative. Since I have the LT back on the bench. Unfortunately, since it is probably a different power supply, I don't know how much might be interchangeable with the other two models, so well, all right. All right, I'm almost about to go upstairs and see if I can't find my ferrules and ferrule crimper because these wires just do not want to go in the terminal. Because on the terminal, there's a little hole they drill through it to put the wire through so that it clamps nicely. And I don't know what it is about the negative wire or the negative terminal, but wire just does not want to cooperate in the negative terminal. Yes, I'm just going to flip it and hope it stays. All right, that was enough. I think it has to do with there's a shorting bar on this power supply that you have to use to set it for positive or negative voltage. That shorting bar interferes with being able to put the wire in whatever terminal that you need to also put the shorting bar in. All right, so let's take this apart and see if by chance something is wrong with it that I might actually be able to do something about. I'm also hoping to maybe take just a little more care in taking this apart so that I can put it back together. So the shorter screw, it looks like the shorter screws go in the front, and I think the middle and back ones are all the same size. Yeah, if you're taking one of these apart, you definitely want to make sure you don't start to put the long screws in the front, although I think the long screws are long enough that it's obvious that they don't go in the front. But it's still, don't do it. Your Tandy 1400 will look weird. All right. All right. Let's see. Did those screws come out? Oh, no. Actually, it looks like the screws on the back are the same length as the ones on the front. I thought they were longer. Okay. They're all short screws. Okay. Excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Oh, I got one that's still in there. Alright, I think I got one screw that's not out. Trying to see if I can see which one it is. Alright. Oh, at least I haven't misplaced my. Not that one. Not that one. It's that one right there. Alright. Alright, all the screws are out. Excellent. Let's see. I believe the battery is out already because I removed it on Retro Repair Roundup. Yep. Okay. It feels like I might still have a screw. I think I might have missed a screw. Oh, I think I did miss a screw. I think that might actually be a label covering a screw. Well, it is a label. And it is covering a screw. That's one of the feet. Now, is that holding it together? Actually, it might be. Okay. So the gold screw is longer and it goes in the hole that's not marked with the arrow. Now let's see if maybe... Now will it come off? I think it should just kind of like come up and off. Oh. Okay, there may be a few clips that were broken on the other one. Or there's still another screw that's... Oh, I think I see it. I think I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yet I think I see the screw I missed, so... Nope, I got that one. Got it. Oh, there must be clips holding this together. Alright. I got all the screws. Alright. Must be clips. And it's probably the other case was so broken that there were no clips left to hold it in. There's like something I'm missing. If Joe were here, he would probably immediately tell me where the screw is that took him hours to find on his. Well, you know, that might be... Looks like there was a foot there, but is there a... No. No screw under it. Must be a clip. Alright. Where did my spudger go? If in doubt, drop lots of things on the floor, find your spudger, and try to apply some gentle lifting pressure. Oh. Someone has sent me an okay. All right. I don't know what I did with my spudger, but I think I want some hot pink spudgers too. That way I can't misplace the spudgers. Also, I'd better put the lid back on the isopropyl alcohol before I knock it off and spill it all. Okay. Guess it's time to order more spudgers because I have lost them all in plain sight. Hold, please. The thing is, I now have these anti-static brushes, and they are like the same color as the spudgers. My PCB weight pin's the same color too. There we go. There's a spudger. I bought a 5-pack and it... Well, Jesse, what other color am I going to pick that's not going to potentially blend in with PCBs and tool handles. There we go. Well, I think I got that side like almost unclipped. Let me check this one. Almost feels like I got two more screws in it. All right, let me check two of these spots where there were feet and see if there's screws under them, because it feels like there's something holding the top one here. Okay, just not something else. Oh, I think it was a zip tie. Hold on. Hold on. I think there is something under there. Oh, it's another Simpsons reference. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm wondering if that what I thought was a sticker was actually a X foot. Well, that's kind of in a weird place, but yeah, there's a screw there. Yeah, I should have known. And I bet there is a screw under this one as well. Yes, he says, insert peak rural Wisconsin suggestion, blaze orange spudgers exist. That is if you can't find pink. Okay. Well, blaze orange would probably work in a pinch too. Green is kind of an annoying color because it's the same color as a lot of PCBs. Red is the color of a lot of tool handles. And real tree ones are a problem when you need to use the spudger outside. No, I do not believe real tree spudgers exist. Yeah, I'm sure the real tree company's probably investigating a line of tools to diversify their investments, but oh, lovely. Oh, okay, maybe these are the same two screws. There we go. Well, I may have to look for blaze orange spudgers. Those would at least be more visible. I mean, after all, if I'm going to buy a color of tool to keep from losing it, do I really want to have to admit that I lost a hot pink flashlight or a hot pink spudger? Nope, not really. All right, so if you take these apart, there's a longer gold screw that went here. The two that go under these feet are shorter and more of a flat silver color. And then the rest of the screws were all the same length black screw. And luckily, Tandy did mark the locations of all the black screws with an arrow. Unhandily, they didn't mark the fact that there were 3 hidden screws that you also need to remove to take the top off. I guess they were probably marking where the common screws are. Alright. Well. Alright, I am not... I am not totally convinced that there's not yet 2 more screws. I can see it. Tandy. Let's build a computer. We'll publish the service manuals, but we're going to hide half the screws you need to remove to get inside of it. That way, when users call us up because they can't get it apart, we'll simply refer them to their local Tandy service center. Sure enough, here's yet another screw. And actually, I think I'm on to Tandy's game now. I think I'm onto their game big time, because guess what I see here? It's one of those labels. What do you know? Looky there. Another hidden screw, and I bet there's one under here, too. Alright. All goes to show that you don't want to pry too hard, because if the spudger doesn't seem to be unclipping it, there is a good possibility that you've still managed to miss several screws. Okay, so it does look like the 2 screws here are the same length. And the 4 short silver ones also are probably the same length. Sadmac says, well, my typewriter project just got more involved than it already was. Well, alright, now, if this thing doesn't just come right off, then I give up finding the hidden screws. Unless there's one under the product label. Oh, now, okay. Now I think we're just down to clips. Okay. Alright. I think that side's unclipped. Alright, let me get the other side. Oh, yeah, feels like there might still be something holding it together. I don't really want to... Alright. I didn't really want to damage this label unless I had to. But I think there's a screw under here as well. Alright, well, I guess with gentle peeling. Well, I'll plan on re-adhering it. Oh, did I just remove that for nothing? Probably. Alright. Unless... Nope, that's not. Nope, okay. There is no screw under there. So, hold, please. Ah! Good night, Francois. Alright. Somewhere it feels like I got one more screw to remove. Hmm. Or it's a clip. Alright. Well, hmm. It is sure acting like I've missed a screw. And yet, I don't see anywhere else where a screw could be. Alright. I did get those two out. That's just a mold mark. I may have to... Alright, I guess I'm going to have to go to the Tandy service manual and see if it reveals the location of the secret screw or the location of the object covering the screw, or like maybe which keycap you have to pull or something. I'm stumped. All right, if someone happens to find it before me, just let me know in the chat that I won't be able to see because I'm looking up documentation. All right. Oh, here we go. Low Tech has it on their website. Excellent. With disassembly instructions. All right, let's see if it tells me. All right, turn over the unit and remove the 8 screws indicated by arrows on the bottom face. Okay, I did that. Turn over the unit to the normal position and lift the top cover. Peel off 2 screw seals on both sides and remove the screws. Oh, okay, well, that's not exactly what I wanted to do. Oh, okay, but I'm going to have to do that because I see. Oh, that's what's holding it in. Okay. Okay, so apparently I did remove a couple screws I wasn't supposed to, which I guess I'll go ahead and put them back in before I forget where they go. So apparently I wasn't supposed to remove these 2 screws. I suspect they're probably holding the power supply in. I don't know what it's holding in, and I don't want it to potentially cause damage when I pull the top cover off. I'll put those 2 screws back in, and then apparently I wasn't supposed to remove these 4 either. So for the same reason, I'll go ahead and put them back in. I mean, it's possible that once I get the top cover off, I might have to put them back in. But there are 2 hidden screws that I didn't even realize they were there because of how clever the stickers are. I know Joe would have immediately told me where they were if he's here. I don't know where you are, Joe. I could have used your gentle prodding in the chat to let me know that the screws I'm looking for are behind here. So I'm going to try to remove this in a way that I can put new adhesive on it and reattach it. And here. There we go. Now, these 2 screws need removed. Um, yeah, let's see. Peel off the 2 seals and remove the screws. Oh, I don't think they're Phillips either. They are a mystery screw. Yay, I love mystery screws. I can't tell what it is. All right. Now I need to find the screwdriver set that is down here somewhere, but I have put it in a really creative spot on my workbench. Really creative. So creative, I'm thinking it's not actually on my workbench any longer. Alright. But I didn't see it upstairs when I took a quick glance for it upstairs, so I just need to remember what I might have done with it. So hold a moment while I try to spot the full set, or otherwise I'm going to have to just dig through the. Actually, let me see if I can find my set of security bits for the toolbox. Full set one. Moved it off to the side for some silly reason, and now I get to go. There. Not sure what I did with it. Okay, I found a driver handle. Which will let me attempt to use the huge mess of screwdriver bits I have to the side here. Basically, they're all the bits from the last two sets that I had that I got to the point where I had partial bits in both sets and bits on the floor, and I just decided to dump them all in one pile out of desperation, and that was, well, I don't know if that was really a good idea, but alright, let's see if I can find a bit that it kind of looks like it's Posi Drive and not Phillips. Or maybe it is Phillips and it's like, ooh, that one's kind of close. Okay, so it's not PH0. It's not plus 2.5. I think it's plus 3. I think it is a Posi drive that I'm looking for. Yeah, because Phillips is too loose. It's not a Y bit, is it? Oh, well, actually. No, it's definitely not a Y bit. Oh, I think I foresee buying myself yet another screwdriver set for Christmas because I obviously keep misplacing sets that I already have. And yeah, I already went to my local Harbor Freight to see if they'd restocked those cool sets that Retro Tech or Die reviewed, and despite the fact that I think their website showed they had four, they'd removed the spot on the shelf for them. I guess they were so popular, the store decided to stop stocking them. Or they just moved them somewhere else in the store. I was going in for like one item and I didn't want to ask because I didn't particularly want to wait for them to try to figure out where they might have moved to. I'll go back later and ask them. And I hope you realize that when I said they were so popular, they decided to stop sell them. I was referring to the fact that obviously, if they show they have them in stock and they're not, I think they have a slight loss problem on them. It wouldn't surprise me if it goes to an online only item. Alright. It is now really bugging me what I did with the screwdriver set that should. I bet I did something creative with it during Dave's stream, and now I'm trying to remember where I put it. Okay, I might have just remembered where it is. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go check the kitchen. I was using my breakfast nook table to work on something. That might be where the screwdriver set I can't find is. I found it. It wasn't where I thought it was, but it was close. Okay. Also, its bits are a bit more clearly labeled than the set I was trying to dig through. Okay. I think this is a posi drive screw, but I'm not for sure. Actually, maybe it's not posi drive. Maybe it's Robertson? That would be really weird. Thing is, it was made in Japan. Find it weird they would have used Robertson, but it's not that one. It doesn't look like Torx. That's the problem. No, it's not Robertson. All right. Fine. Kind of completely embarrassing that I got to do this, but I can't tell. I can't tell what. It's at such an angle, I can't tell what it is. And, well, that one actually looks like it's stripping out. That might be part of the problem. Can we identify the screw? Oh, it helps if I'm actually focusing. Alright, so it has 4 points on it, but it does kind of look like... That one is rounded. Well, that's annoying, because I think it was... I don't know that I really... I mean, I might have rounded it, but... I think someone might have been in here before, too. Alright, that doesn't look like Phillips, but I'm not sure what that is. Anyone recognize that? It kind of looks like... I mean, it looks like Phillips, but it doesn't look like Phillips. It kind of looks like it might be some... But I don't know that it's posi drive now that I look at the symbol in the posi drive screw. I mean, maybe it is a Phillips. All right, I'll I'll try a Phillips 2 maybe. Oh, okay. Well, that maybe that is a Phillips 2. Maybe the problem is it's just a really large screw head for a small screw. Maybe that's why I thought it was something else. All right. Well, that actually, maybe that was it. All right, this one's going to be the really fun one because it's starting to round. Yeah, that one's... Alright, well maybe... Oh no, that screw's going to have to come out on the other side to... Right. Let me look at the service manual again, because I don't think I'm going to get that screw out without taking a Dremel to it and cutting a slot in it. And even then, it's iffy. Me, oh yeah, I am going to have to. I see why you got to remove it. It's the so the screw. Oh, let me just pull the service manual open. That's the easier part. Let me show you instead of trying to describe it. There we go. That part is part of the bottom frame, and the screw is going through that hole. Or actually, I think that's the bushing or the thread that it's going into. In order to get the top case off, that other screw is going to have to come out too. All right. Unfortunately, this tells me that this display is not interchangeable with the other two Tandys, so all right. Definitely rounded. Okay, there's no I don't really want to take a Dremel to it, but I think that's the only way to get that screw out, and it has to come out. Otherwise, this laptop will not be repairable. Of course, if I remove that screw, I will have to find a replacement. That's going to be tough. Well, I guess that's why I call it a future me problem. Future me will just have to find the screw. You know, I'd almost rather try to find a paperclip fix for this than a Dremel fix. Because inevitably, I'll take the Dremel to this screw, manage to get it out, and then next week someone will tell me, oh, yeah, you know, if you'd found this magic product they sell at Menards or somewhere that's not in Virginia, but I could order from, yeah, I would have let you remove the screw without having to cut a slot in it. Thumbs down. I don't know. They're going to get small enough to do this. And no, I do not have a screw extractor, so that option is not a possibility. I don't really want to. Alright, I guess it's going to be... I got to cut a slot in it because the head's rounded. I don't think I got any other choices. Alright, if you're in the chat and you're aware of some method I have overlooked to get this threaded screw, this rounded screw out. Oh, and one of my monitors arm just decided to spontaneously fail. Okay, that's weird. The monitor just drooped down. Did I knock something off the bench that's weighing down on the cable? No? Alright. Just more things breaking. Alright, if you're out there thinking there's another thing I could try that I'm not aware of to get this rounded screw out, that the screw is like definitely not long enough to use a extractor. I do not have a left-handed drill bit. I would also have to be incredibly careful, and I don't know that there's room to get a drill in the tight quarters of the screw, which you can't see because that's how tight the quarters are on the screw. But I do not have a left-handed drill bit. But that's how much room I have for the screw, and the screw is like a quarter of an inch long in total. I'm actually... I'd almost rather try that option, though. I'd have to buy a... Well, I would have to be really careful. Of course, I'll have to be really careful with the Dremel, too. One of those decisions that... Oh, and it's 11 o'clock Eastern, so the chat has slowed down. Well, there's no way I'm going to Harbor low speed is key. All right, well, I can't go to Harbor Freight tonight, but Jeremy has given me a potential non-Dremel option. So I guess. All right, I guess I'm going to stop in the name of. I don't really want to take a Dremel to this computer. It's kind of looking like I'm going to need to buy another potential eBay regret for the parts. All right, well, that's pretty much where this assembly is going to stop because I'll go get some left-handed drill bits. I wonder if this battery door would fit the other Tandy 1400s. Because the HD case was in pretty good shape. It was missing the battery door. But I think it might actually have the port covers. But it needs recapped, so there's no sense me pulling it out tonight. Alright, well... I guess the one good thing about stopping at this point is I don't have much to manage to lose before I get back to this computer. Just the few screws and whoops, the beige screw covers, which I actually just knocked one off of where I stuck it temporarily. So hold please momentarily while I find it so that I don't forget about it and then ruin it. Oh, please don't tell me that I managed to drop it through some crack in the workbenches that'll make it impossible to find. Alright, where did it fall? Alright, hold please while I look for the thing. Oh, well, that's really nice. I don't know where it went. It's probably stuck to something. Alright, well, it's not stuck to that modem. Alright, it's not stuck to the SSD packaging. Hopefully it's not stuck to the thing I just knocked off the workbench. Right. Those instructions can go away. Not stuck to my component tester. Not stuck to the IDE cable. Alright. Yes, this is called Justin Does Not Want to Lose This Part. But might have managed to do it anyways because... Oh, there it is. Alright, found it. It had definitely fallen into a space where I was at risk of forgetting it was there and then really losing it. Alright, so let me go set this off to the side and then I'll figure out if I'm going to do anything else or maybe for once finish the live stream early. Alright, let me see if I've got anything that's tangential that I can look at. Alright, I guess there is something I could look at, but it's not exactly related to Tandy. But I guess it would be nice to know today if it works. It's another one of the eBay purchases that came in this week. So let me go. Alright, let me go upstairs and grab the board. But I also need to fix the monitor that decided to droop down to where I can't see it. Because that's the monitor that I use to see the output of the computer that I will need momentarily. So I'll be right back. Oh, hey, one bit. Welcome. So, the Tandy's turned out to be a bust. I can't get I can't get one of the screws out of one that I need to be able to open it up and figure out what might need to be done to get it to work. And the other two, well, they both look like the power supplies need recapped, and the one new one I hadn't tested, well, the fuse is blown on it, so I went upstairs and grabbed this lovely motherboard here. That came in, I guess it was, I think it came in Tuesday. This was one of the things that came in Tuesday. So, I think on my live stream, my last live stream where I looked at the Emerson 286, I was kind of on the fence about even buying this board, but I decided to go for it because it's not like they show up on eBay that often. But anyways, oh, conveniently there's empty RAM in the onboard memory slots or memory dip socket, so that's probably a harbinger of things to come when I test this board. Although the seller, I think, did say it was tested working, but I'm just checking all the socketed chips. I know the clock chip is going to be dead. Oh, the onboard video RAM is also MT RAM. Lovely. I wish I'd noticed that. I might have changed my mind on just ordering it. But I don't know what's wrong with the board I have. It starts failing memory tests when it warms up. And mind you, it's not like it's abundantly warm in my basement this time of year. But it does seem as if whatever problem is happening as after the after the board warms up. So, all right, let me put that adapter somewhere where I hopefully won't lose it. I'll need that when I film my cheap PC challenge build video, hopefully this weekend. All right. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm first going to attempt to power this board up as received. Although first, I guess I should maybe do a little continuity check and make sure nothing's shorted. But I figured I'll first power it up as received to make sure it even works. And if that's the case, then well, I guess I can run a memory test on it with just the onboard RAM. Because it actually didn't. Because I was actually able to get the other one to fail with the. I'm actually not sure that the seller tested this because. All right. Oh, this is something I really don't want to do because the seller could use it against me if there's something really wrong with this board. But I don't think all these power pins are soldered. No. No, that is like a. Okay, those are some pretty bad solder joints there. And while I do know there are like two of the pins. Oh, wait. That may be on purpose now that I look at it. Oh, those might. Oh, there is absolutely no solder there at all. That might actually be factory because there are a couple pins that are not potentially not connected. All right, I'm going to not do anything about that at the moment because I don't want the seller to be able to deny if I do have to return it. I don't want them to deny it because I reflowed solder joints and they could then claim that I damaged the board doing that. If I do have a problem with it, I will initiate the inquiry with there's something wrong with it, but I did notice that there are several cold solder joints on the power connector. And maybe then, if they are okay with the idea of me reflowing, then I would. Okay, I am. Yeah, it's an LPX board. And there's something weird about it. Okay, so these middle four pins are common, or should be common, and they're not connected together. Okay, that's weird though. Oh, now they're connected together. Oh, okay, so one of the commons isn't connected. Oh, is that one of the pins that's not soldered? Yeah. Okay, so one of the common pins isn't soldered, but the other three are. That the ground plane is fine. It's one of the commons is one of the pins that's not soldered. The other two that aren't soldered are power good and I think it's one of the optional voltages anyways. So, okay, this board is safe to attempt to power up. Yep, it should look oddly familiar. It should look exactly like the 286 board that was in my Emerson Matrix 2000 because that's exactly what this board is. It's one of my eBay finds. I was working on the Emerson Matrix 2000 last week? Or was that no, what it couldn't be Tuesday. Yeah, well, I guess it was last Thursday. Yeah, I guess it was a week ago. Because that would make sense. Because I think the seller was in New York. Yeah, East Aurora, New York. Okay, that makes sense. Because yeah, I was about to say no. I definitely didn't work on it Tuesday. Wouldn't have been enough of a turn time. It's not you. It's OBS. I probably should install the update that it told me to install because it has bug fixes. All right. Got power. I've got video. I think that's about all I should need just to see if the thing turns on. Don't have any shorts where there shouldn't be, as far as I can tell. So, oh, I guess I should probably plug power in. Yeah, I deactivated and reactivated the source, and that fixes it. So I think that tells me it's OBS, not my microphone. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. That's an okay sign. Well, Jeremy, I always usually connect the keyboard too, except for when I don't connect the keyboard, because maybe I just want to power it up and see if the thing even does anything before I bother finding the keyboard. Because now I got to find the keyboard that I was looking for before I decided to just power it up and see what happened. I think I Yeah, I think I covered the keyboard when I unboxed some things the other day, and I just realized that, yeah, I think there's a few boxes that need to go out for collection. All right, let me put the keyboard somewhere. Hold on, please. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, that's why I can't find something. Yeah, I moved a few things. I mean, the keyboard is not strictly required for you to power it up. I mean, the keyboard is required for you to be able to do other nice things, such as um, smashing that like button and leaving nice comments and subscribing. And oh, you see what I did there, didn't you? All right, let me go. We'll just power it up while I go grab the. Okay, well, that's good there. All right, let me see if I've got a. I should have a clock module somewhere handy. All right, I think next week, while I have some time off, one of the things I'm going to attempt to do is clean my workbench off. I know, I know. Every time I do that, I then can't find anything for a week or 2 or 3, but well, Jeremy, I kind of think there might be a reason why it's Control-Alt-Escape, just like the older Acers. I think the older Acers are could potentially be more related than you think to this computer. I haven't figured out who might have made this for Emerson, because I don't think Emerson made any of their own computers. I think they contracted them all out. But I have thought, because of the Acer chips on this board, that it might have been Acer, but I also think that this might have been made by Arch, or whoever makes Arch computers, because the power supply is an Arch power supply. Alright. It is a socketed chip, however, it does not want to come out. I've got a modified chip to put in this place so that it'll at least save the BIOS settings if I can get it out. Alright, never mind. Alright. I'll deal with that later. Alright. Hopefully it will at least maybe store the settings for this, even if the battery's dead, which the answer is probably no. Alright. I'll give it a try anyways. It's probably just I need to use a different tool to pry that out. Alright. Let's see here. It is... Well... Alright, it is... Let's see here. Select values. Oh, hold on. 12... 21.99. It doesn't like that. Alright. Whatever. No. Or whatever. 23 43 oh. Okay, well, like that. 12 21.99. Okay, I don't have a disconnect connected. Alright, so this should be 48, which is going to be, what did I say, 490, 490, 432. Yeah, I think that's right. Oh. Oh, maybe this has less RAM on board than I thought it did. Okay, well... I'm not even sure it's going to remember it. Alright, I'll let you know, Jeremy. They're not exactly... Okay, I don't know that either of those systems are exactly ones that I'm just, like, absolutely going to go buy without regard to anything else. I know folks like the ZX computers, but and I realize I'm all about exploring the computers that my generation grew up with, and I realize the ZX computers are one of them. But at the same time, they're just so cheaply made that I'm not like it's not been something that's been a priority for me to go find one to buy. It's just kind of y'all probably know. Hopefully you know what I'm trying to say. I just like there's other computers I'd rather go spend money on. I realize Clive Sinclair did a thing and it let lots of people use computers that wouldn't have otherwise done it, but they were it's like and they seem to go for crazy money too. And they've got custom chips in them that help them bring the cost down that I know you keep telling me about that Epson, Jeremy, and I don't I actually am not sure I will that Epson. I'll give you my take on it as to why I have watched it before, and I keep looking at it and staring at it, and then not doing anything about buying it, even though it does look interesting. The problem with that Epson is, if you look at the pictures of it, it has some really weird proprietary power connector on it. And I don't feel like trying to figure out a way to power it, given the fact that it's got some really weird proprietary power connector that no one probably makes a connector for these days. Okay, come on, I just want to set the clock. And this is probably my rule number one, potentially getting the best of me and not letting me buy it. But yeah, that Epson doesn't include the power adapter, and it does not. And I don't even know what the connector's called that's on it. It looks weird. I doubt anyone makes anything compatible. Oh, this is a different one. Oh, but it still has the same problem. It's missing its power adapter. Yeah, the power adapter is that 6-pin thing on the back of the dock that's attached to it. That's why I keep not buying it, is because of that. Memory size error, run setup. Error initializing hard disk controller 0. Oh. Oh, yeah, it would probably help if I plugged the compact flash card back in now, wouldn't it? And, alright. Apparently now it might... Okay. Just checking that I had the right geometry in mind. Alright. I'd give this computer, like, a solid, like, C for its BIOS usability. It's actually kind of annoying. Although part of the problem is the keyboard I'm trying to use with it, but 490, 432. Okay. Ah, now it okay. Now it's got the extended memory. Also, if the yeah, oh, you just found one with the power supply. That's cool. I still don't know how much I want an Epson equity, considering how much fun I'm having trying to get just one Tandy 1400 to work. I don't know. That's kind of my take on that. The Epson equity is the proprietary power adapter is kind of off-putting. I've got enough other laptops with proprietary power connectors that I haven't been able to get to power up that oh, that's interesting. As for the ZX Spectrum, I suspect I will eventually fall for one. I don't know how interested I am in a Russian clone of the ZX Spectrum. I'll probably just wait until I get an actual Speccy and just go with that. I at least want to make sure if I am buying a computer, I can get parts to fix it if something's wrong. The other reason why I haven't been jumping the gun to buy another ZX is I have a ZX clone and I was underwhelmed by how well it worked. That you could probably, I've just been so excited to get back to working on it, and I can't find a replacement keyboard uh, thing for it because it's a ZX80 clone, and the keyboard was on the PCB and not a separate ribbon cable thing, so its keyboard had come unglued. I would rather. I can't find that anyone sells a like replacement adhesive that has all the holes cut out of it, or and actually, I'm not even sure the PCB side's even totally working. For the ZX80, how? Because the ZX80 doesn't have a separate keyboard. It's part of the main PCB. Also, I think if you, I'm not sure how excited I am of just replacing the PCB, but that seems like cheating. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, the ZX81 has a separate keyboard. Yeah, if I had a ZX81 clone, I would have probably already had a replacement keyboard, even if it was the awful one that came with it. Because I think I did find several sellers that have ZX81 membrane replacements, so I could have exactly the same experience as you did back in the 80s. But the only place that I found that used to sell a replacement top for the ZX80 keyboard no longer sells it. So I don't really want to replace the keyboard. The ZX80 works. I'm. It's actually kind of annoying. I know. I know. Basically, my problem with the ZX80 is it is really hard to capture the video from the ZX80 because of how not NTSC compliant it is. So it's also one of those that when I get back to it, I am going to have to find a way to point a camera at a TV screen to be able to show you what it's doing, because I don't think any video capture device is going to be able to capture it because it's not NTSC compliant. TVs are fine with it. Capture devices are it's too far off for them to lock onto it. So it's kind of the I don't have a good solution for pointing. I would need another camera down here actually, and I don't have a good solution for that. So anyways, that's why if of the computers you've seen me work on, and I think even that one I was working on it on Dave's stream actually. The reason I haven't pulled it back out to continue the work, even though I've ordered SRAMs for it. Um, am I still interested in that ZX80 clone? Um, I mean, I might be Jeremy. It One bit's asking, what about sending it to a 1701 C64 monitor with RF input? I don't have a 1701 monitor, so I can't try that. Yeah, it doesn't have RF input. Yeah, I did composite mod the ZX80, so that's not the problem. The problem is that the composite output of the ZX80 is not. It is far enough off of the NTSC timings that digital capture devices won't lock onto it. They'll like you'll get a couple. You'll get like a little bit of time where you see something on the capture input, and then it will lose sync and resync, and you'll get a little bit. And it's just not sustainable. The TVs were fine with it because they pretty much just the timing of the TV was controlled by the signal you fed to it, and that the signal from the ZX80 wasn't far enough off that the TV wouldn't lock because the analog TVs had a lot of margin. I do not have what GBS 82X0. I don't know. I don't. I don't recognize those parts, and I suspect it won't lock onto it either. I would be surprised if it did. Oh, is that what I'm thinking of? I bought one of those once, and it was underwhelming. I think I know what you're talking about now. I think I bought one and returned it because I was underwhelmed at its performance. Oh, that was one of those CGA to VGA converters. I was underwhelmed at its performance and thought it when I priced out what it would cost to do all the upgrades that they suggest to make it work better, it was more than I wanted to spend. Yeah, one bit's just saying just emulate a ZX. Yeah, for the ZX, that might be one platform that I almost would just emulate it because yeah, I bought one of those once and I was underwhelmed at its performance because it didn't actually do what I wanted it to do. What was I trying to do with it? I don't remember exactly what it did or didn't do when I tried to use it, but I do remember having one that I ordered from Amazon and I clearly remember returning it. Quite honestly, that's just I and I don't remember at this point I don't remember why I returned it other than there must have been something it wasn't doing that I wasn't happy about. Either that or maybe it was the wrong version to mod. That could be entirely possible that whatever version I'd been sent was like did not have it maybe didn't have the correct things to do the mods. But it also might have been that I tried to feed it a signal that it should have handled without the mods and it didn't work. I don't know. I don't remember. Jeremy says it worked fantastically for converting his Apple II GS to a normal VGA output. Uh, one bit says, ask a UK dude to set up a ZX Spectrum over there with surgeon robotic arm, remote controlled by you, and webcam feed sent to us all. I mean, yeah, I remember buying one of these. I don't remember why I returned it exactly. I don't remember if it's maybe because the one I was sent was defective. I don't remember if it was because it didn't do what it should have handled without mods. I don't remember if it might have been because it was the wrong version of the board 2 mod. Don't remember if it's because the price dropped by 50% after I ordered it. I don't remember. So I seemingly remember ordering it around the time that I needed to get the CGA out of my Emerson 8000 EC, which would have been like back in December of 20 21. Yeah, I think that might have been about the time I might have bought it. Well, I added it to my eBay watch list and maybe I might try it again, but there was some reason why I returned it. Quite honestly, it might have just been as simple as I got one of the RGB to HDMI's that gave me a digital signal. Because actually, quite honestly, I find nowadays it can be easier to go to HDMI or DVI if you're going to be doing a capture than VGA. But, well, I mean, VGA is easier than some things. But yeah, all right, I put it on my watch list. I mean, maybe I just find it annoying when the I don't want I don't like buying things that I just have to immediately mod to make it usable. That I guess that's my thing. I don't have infinite time for projects, so sometimes I just have to say, well, I'm going to buy the pre-built option of an RGB to HDMI from Texelec because I don't have infinite time to do mods of a device to make it work better. It just kind of the reality when you kind of have to balance working on hobbies like this versus live streams versus working on the house versus other things. And well, I don't have infinite time to work on things. Like, for example, last night I had to work on my speech I was giving at Toastmasters over lunch today. So I did give the speech. It might turn into a video on my channel, assuming I can get past some production challenges I have, but I might next week just try to drive through them anyways. I do also have to work on my cheap PC challenge entry video. Many things as I bought for that. You better believe I'm going to throw some video together, even if it's a quickly edited video with fewer frills and thrills than normal. But yeah, I got to get that out next week. And I really do need to remove some of this junk that's piled up on my workbench. Well, this board does seem to be working, but it was also taking the other board I had like some time before it started failing memory tests. So I might let it go overnight. Do I feel lucky? I don't know if I feel that lucky with this board, but I don't know why. I have this feeling this MT RAM is because the thing is the socketed dip RAM on this board, which that's easy to address because all I got to do is change these jumpers here, and then I can put. In fact, if I had 1 megabyte of RAM in 30-pin Sims, which I do somewhere, all I got to do is change all 6 of these jumpers to the other position, put a megabyte of RAM there, boom. That empty RAM, no longer a concern. It's these two soldered empty RAM chips that are on the video circuit that are, well, I mean, if they're working, and right now they're working, I'm not going to risk the board to remove them. But it is a little concerning that it has empty RAM. Yeah, Jeremy says empty RAM equals empty promises of functionality. I mean, worst comes to worst, I think one of these jumpers is probably a onboard video disable, and I could throw throw a video card in the ISO slot. But I have to say, the onboard Trident video they have on this board, it looks pretty good on this board too. I've had some problems with some old Trident cards, which y'all should know, that the video output looks horrible, even in text mode, but this actually looks pretty good. So maybe whoever designed this board actually did a decent job of laying out the video circuits to minimize noise. I mean, it is also the 8900C, which is one of the Trident chips that I don't know that I've had a standalone video card with that chip on it. Maybe that was one of their better chips. I mean, even companies developing cheap, low cost VGA adapters can sometimes make a decent looking chip. Yeah. Thomas Armstrong says, double that empty RAM. I'm going to double that RAM, but I'll actually probably use some memory chips from the other board because I think the memory chips on that other board are fine. I think there's something on that other board that heats up and starts failing, and I haven't the foggiest clue of what it is. I bought this board because, well, it was tested working, and well, these don't pop up. In fact, this board had been listed for long enough. This was kind of one of those things that if it had been a new listing, I might have risked it. But this board that I bought, I finally decided to just buy it because it is, I mean, it is the exact board I need to replace the one in my Matrix 2000. But the seller has relisted it like 5 or 6 times since I started watching it, I believe. I mean, at least like 3 or 4 times, if not 5 or 6 times. And I started to think about it. And I'm like, this board has been listed long enough that maybe it's not selling because it's not a popular computer and no one wants to just buy it. I was like, it's also kind of one of those that they could get to the point where they drop the price and someone snatches it before I catch it because I'm at work. So I was like, in the hopes of selling, I'm like, all right, I think I need to replace the board in that computer. I don't know what's wrong. It could be one of the standard logic chips, but it could also be one of the chipset chips where I don't necessarily have a way of replacing them because they're actually, I mean, there are some 74 series logic chips on this board, but the chipset seems to be fairly well integrated on this board. So I was like, I don't know. So I finally broke down. I finally decided, all right, I'm just going to buy this board because I'd like to get my Matrix 2000 back up and running because it has onboard Trident video. Ryan would be disappointed with me if I didn't get it up and running. I don't know. It's nothing. It's not a spectacularly awesome computer. I think it's just a run of the mill computer, but well, it doesn't. It's like a nice compact 286 computer. It's got onboard video. I guess the main thing is I wanted to get it up and running because this is a good example of like a run of the mill average 286. It runs at 12.5 megahertz. It's basically just a good example of what the 286 was for a lot of people. The onboard video is a perk. Yeah, Jesse says, at this rate, oh, good card. Jesse says, at this rate, there will be a warehouse in Virginia full of Trident cards. I actually hardly ever buy Trident cards. Shocker, I know. I have a couple on my watch list on eBay, but I usually just eventually stop watching them because I figured out if I wait long enough, one of you all will send it to me. So, because it's a Trident card, and everyone wants to see me pull out the Trident and serve up the video card on the bench on the Trident. And actually, Jeremy, of those Trident cards you got me in Dallas, I think two of the three worked. Yeah, Jeremy says if I visit Virginia again, I'd like to visit that electronics store with all the vintage PC hardware. Yeah, well, I can tell you exactly where it is. Yeah, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. The one that didn't work was actually one I kind of hoped would work, but yeah, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. I the one that oh wait, was it 2 out of 3? Okay, yeah, I think 2 out of 3 worked. However, there were some graphical anomalies when I ran the PC player benchmark on them. But those graphical anomalies might just be those cards weren't designed for how DOS programs usually wrote graphics data to the screen. So, because the thing is, on one of those, I actually had Windows 98 running on it, which would have been running at a higher resolution than PC Player, and there were no graphical anomalies. So I'm thinking that was PC Player work benchmark, not the Trident card. So that's why I'm calling it 2 out of 3. The third card, just no image, which is interesting. An interesting failure mode because thinking back to my some of my previous live streams this year, in fact, I might have pulled the top 10 video list on my channel for my Toastmasters speech today. And I might be tempted to use that to make a video to summarize my top 10 videos this year. One of those videos may or may not have been my live stream where I attempted to repair Trident video cards. But I do remember from that live stream, several of the cards I attempted to repair also had no image on the screen. So that is very interesting failure mode of that AGP card that Jeremy picked up for me in Dallas that didn't work. It had no image on the screen. Kind of found that a very interesting failure mode of all the failure modes it could have been. So yeah, probably technology differences. Probably. I mean, I did. I think I did get Windows 98, or it might have been 95. It was one of the two. I'd have to go back and see what I ran on it. Because I actually wait. I think I still have the computer partially assembled. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. It was my Super 7 on my Super 7 stream. I used the Trident, one of the Trident cards, and it was actually Windows 95, but it ran fine. I mean, as fine as a Trident card. Jeremy, this is not going to be my last live stream this year. I I am not going to live stream before Christmas. I so but yeah, I so it's a good way because I'm getting tired. I think it's about time for me to close the stream up. So this is probably a good time to announce that on Tuesday, December 26th, which I believe is Boxing Day in Canada. So, early happy Boxing Day to all you Canadians. Also, other countries as well, I believe, celebrate it. Kind of wish I had a big box copy of MS DOS or PC DOS or one of the like to go along with Boxing Day, but well, I'll do without because I don't really want to pay eBay prices for a big box copy of DOS. Plus, it would be really expensive to make sure it got here on the 26th. But anyways, I will be doing Will It DOS. And I have my white lab coat down here, and I've got my safety glasses, and I might even see if I can find my pocket protector, because I'm pretty sure that Tom Dickinson wears a pocket protector on that series. But I will at least start the stream with my best Tom Dickinson impression. You all probably would recognize who he is if I said he's the Will It Blend guy from Blend Tech. But yeah, we're going to do Will It DOS. One bit says Boxing Day is a lie. Thomas Armstrong says, "Yup, boxing shopping." So anyway, so Will It DOS is going to be Tuesday, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. I am going to start my live stream a little earlier than normal on the 26th, and then next Thursday, the 28th. I am going to finish my year of live streaming by trying to finish some of my PC projects of computers that would have either shipped with Miss DOS, that would have shipped with DOS, not necessarily Microsoft DOS, or could have run DOS based on the, I guess, the age of the components, which is going to include all the way up to Millennium Edition, even though I absolutely detest that version of Windows without having ever really personally used it because I avoided it like the plague. But yeah, it runs on MS-DOS, so, well, it counts. Looking at a machine that I think has a Windows Millennium Edition COA on the back of it. But I'm going to try to finish some projects that are incomplete, but it will be among DOS computers. So, unfortunately, it probably won't be the Tandy 1400s because I doubt I'm going to be able to get capacitors in time for that. But possible computers that are fair game include my compact LTE Elite 475CX. I know Jesse sent me a floppy drive belt for it, and I haven't had a chance to get back to that. So that one's a possibility for next Thursday. So is the Emerson Elite SX386. Maybe I'll finally get the video card drivers installed, and that will actually finish that project. I might get back to the power supply that goes in the AT case that I got at VCF East. That would certainly be nice to have that power supply recapped before 2023 ends. And we'll see what else I might find that are MS-DOS computers, or either that they either shipped with a version of DOS, or they could have shipped with DOS if it had been like a pre-built system of the same type. Jeremy says, don't forget the left-handed drill bits. I'll try not to forget the left-handed drill bits, but the thing is, I suspect that computer needs capacitors, so if I get the left-handed drill bits, I'll see if I can't get that screw out probably off stream, because that will be nerve-wracking enough that I don't want to be trying to do it live. If I get that screw out, then yes, that computer might also come out on the workbench to diagnose. But I doubt I'm going to be able to get capacitors in time, just because it's the 22nd, and even if I order them tomorrow and they ship tomorrow, no one's going to be delivering packages on Monday because that's Christmas, which would leave practically Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And if I'm picking ground shipping to save a few bucks, oh yeah, that kind of puts that in jeopardy to get here by Thursday. I mean, it's possible, but the thing is, I don't know what caps I need to order. I haven't gone through the power supply and made a list yet. So, in reality, could I order them tomorrow? No. because I wouldn't have time to create that list until at least after work tomorrow. And at that point, Mauser's ordering windows closed. So Jeremy says, drill slowly so you don't melt the plastics. Yeah, I also want to drill slowly so that I don't, like, drill through the screw. Or crack the plastics. But yep, anyways, yep. Oh, good night, Thomas. So yeah, that's what to look forward to next week. I also, sometime next week or this weekend, will be working on my Cheap PC Challenge entry. That will not be part of my Thursday live stream next week because that computer, well, the parts for that computer would have not shipped with a version of DOS. However, could it show up on Will It DOS? That is a really good question. So hopefully I have time this weekend to start working on that video so that I have that computer together for Will It DOS, because that is one of the computers on my list of computers that I think it would be interesting to see if it really could run interesting versions of DOS. And with that, I see that my memory test is still running. I'm probably going to stop the memory test for tonight because, yeah, I do have my smart outlets in the basement set to turn off at 2 a.m. Just so that if I were to leave something on that I didn't want to leave on after a live stream, at least at 2 a.m., they'll turn off. I picked 2 a.m. because obviously midnight is too early. And I thought, well, sometimes 1 a.m. might still be too early because if I didn't have to work the next day, I might be going late. Tonight is not such a night. I am going to wrap the stream here momentarily. So anyways, yeah, I set my outlets to turn off at 2 a.m. and I don't want to, like, turn that off because I then usually forget to turn that automation back on later, and then I'll come down to the basement at one point and realize that, oh yeah, I didn't mean to leave that outlet on. So anyways, I would like to wish everyone a great rest of your evening. Since I won't be live streaming again until after Christmas, do have a Merry Christmas. I hope you do have a Merry Christmas. Don't need to wish you a Happy New Year because I will be streaming before then. And let's see here. I need to make sure my finger is on the correct thing in OBS. I'd like to wish you a great rest of your evening. Take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.